All right, fellas, didn't get to go over install two because of your running back presentations, which are sweet. So fired up, you guys got a chance to do that. In turn, I want to get you guys a Zoom for the weekend so we can hit install two before Monday, because Monday I want to spend some Monday, Tuesday, I want to spend some time going over mid zone, just like we did with inside zone, right? So one of those meetings is going to be entirely mid zone. Okay. So today, this will be kind of just a um, sorry, just a breeze through of install two, reminder, refresher, whatever you want to call it. But uh, obviously, you guys should be watching these things all the way through. All right. I'll be asking questions, so need your responses in the group chats. All right, pause this if you want to try and challenge yourself and not just get the answers to, non-negotiables or standards or different mid-zone things that we're talking about or that I would ask you in person. All right, so you can always pause your screen and just, challenge yourself to get those questions right. So, what would be our two non-negotiables? That would be ball security, always finish forward. Okay, and then our standards on and off the field, off being own your own development, be better, and then on field, we need to handle ourselves, carry ourselves with confident aggression every time we're on the field. We want to be versatile athletes, versatile running backs, and then we want to be tough sons of bitches. Okay, mid zone, right? So install two is going to be heavy, heavy, heavy. Mid zone, right? And that's our Cadillac, Camaro, Lambo, Ferrari. Those are our fast cars. We want to go with speed. We want to displace the defense horizontally with speed and tempo. All right, this is a faster paced play than inside zone, faster developing play than inside zone. Allows you guys to make the offensive line right here. Okay, so just installing it right again from the top for the new guys and for you younger guys just to hear it again, right? So again, you can always pause this and try to answer this on your own, right? Like, what do we have? Challenge yourself. Pause it. What do I have on all of these? What am I trying to do here? Right. So installing it now. All right, Cadillac Camaro talked about those runs are faster tempo, mid zone, okay, tight plays. We want to be able to cut the defense in half. Okay. So when we run this thing, all right, the front side is going to displace horizontally, and we're going to try and vertically cut off the backside with the backside guard tackle. Okay. And obviously on Cadillac Camaro, okay, we have C's in those words. And we're going to have a tight end responsible for the C gap. Okay, whether he's front side or not. Down here, we got the rim block. Okay, and up top, we got the rip and run to cut off the backside C gap. Okay, so that is the mnemonic with Cadillac Camaro in the C there. All right, for you guys, right? You guys got to take three full speed steps to get to the mesh point where the quarterback is, right? By that third step, you guys are making your decision, right? So you're reading the B gap, okay? All right, so you're going to have your eyes on that B gap, right? So you're going to take a go step right when the ball is snapped, right? It is not a delay step waiting for the quarterback to catch it. It's a go step right when the snap is thrown back to the quarterback, right when the center moves his hand, you're going. Okay, you're going to be aligned in the tackle alignment, right, in the B gap. So you should be somewhat in the frame of the tackle, right? Now, depending on how far is up to you. Okay, but you got to have at least a foot in the frame of the tackle. All right, so that's going to be your alignment. You're going to have the go step. Aiming point is going to be, remember, we changed this to just a little bit tighter, and I'll go over that in a second, but you're going to be inside leg of the offensive tackle, right? The OT, the offensive tackle's inside leg. Okay, so you're going to be aiming right here, right there. That's your aiming point pre-snap. All right, so you're going to work this angle, right, and aim at that point where the tackle's inside leg was. Okay, so that's your track, and it's going to be a little narrower, right? It's not going to be as wide. It's going to be a little narrower because we do want to help you guys make this cut back against the grain, right? Back to the backside. So you're a little tighter downhill a little bit more just to allow yourself an easier time getting vertical. Okay. On this track, right, like I said, your your eyes are going to be on the B gap. So you're going to have your eyes on that B gap for those 3 steps towards the mesh point. Once you get to the mesh point and the quarterback has the ball in your stomach, you should at this point make a decision, right? Am I able to bounce this thing and stay outside of the tackle? Is the B gap closed or cloudy? And if it's cloudy or closed, I'm going to put my 5th step in the ground and get vertical. Now I could get vertical, directly vertical through the B gap, right? And keep going through the B gap, which you'll see clips of. I can get vertical, put my foot in the ground, go through the A gap, backside A gap, or I can wind this thing all the way back to that backside C gap, right? So there's a variety of different options here, but we want to stay on this track, path of least resistance. Remember, these guys are going to vertically or horizontally displace. And so as they're running, that B gap probably end up being somewhere right here, right? So you want to be able to run right through it on the same plane, on the same track without having to bow and bounce it. We don't want this. Do not want to bow. We want to be able to run straight, okay? So your job is to bring the backside linebacker over the center, okay? With what? You have to bring this backside linebacker, okay, over the center, right? We want to bring him to this double team that's working. We don't want these guys to necessarily have to peel all the way back. If they do, that's not worst thing in the world, but we want to bring that backside linebacker all the way over the top so we don't so we can have him vacate that area. All right, now we can work the cutback to the area he just left. Right, so bring the backside linebacker over the center with your track and your speed. So your track has to be correct, and you have to run full clip for those first 3 steps. All right, that's our gun alignment and technique and reason, all that. Right, that's when we're in this gun. But when we're in the pistol, okay, when we're in the pistol, we don't have those pictures, but we would be, behind the quarterback, toes at 7.5, 7.5, write that down in the pistol, and you're going to take a delay step. Delay step meaning when the quarterback catches the football, when the ball gets to him. Now, think about this. You're in the pistol, you can't see him catch it. So it's really going to be kind of that half a click after the snap. All right. And really, you should be starting to move when the quarterback turns around. So if you wait until the quarterback turns around, that's okay too. So once you see his shoulder start to turn, then you're going full speed, right? That's the big thing. So after you start your movement, you are going full speed. Okay. So even though you're taking a little bit longer, you're going to go full clip when you do decide to go. And the reason being, right, when we're in pistol, okay, we're right here behind the quarterback. Okay. Our 3 steps are going to take us to this point versus our 3 steps in the gun take us to that point. So we're already way ahead. So we want to slow this down, this mesh point when the quarterback turns around. We want to slow that down or have that happen about the same time you'd be getting to his midline, right? So hopefully that makes sense. We'll watch some video of it. You're going to aim at the tackle's inside leg because you're a little bit further back. We're just going to have your aiming point a little wider, just a little though, nothing crazy, right? Because we don't want you guys going from here too far downhill, right? Like this would be way too far downhill. And if you were to bounce it, we wouldn't be in a good situation. So if you're aiming at the tight end's inside leg, you still have, honestly, you have a more downhill track still than this gun track, right? So look at these 2 tracks and look at this. We're talking geometry right now, right? This one is more acute. This one is more obtuse, right? This pistol track is easier for you to get vertical. This gun track, right? The reason we bumped it in is to allow it to be easier to get vertical because this is a little bit harder, right? So let me just in simplest terms here, show this over here. That's our track, pistol, that's our track, right? So when you get vertical and you get vertical, that's a longer angle, or sorry, a harder cut rather, a harder cut, more higher degree of difficulty than this pistol angle, right? If that makes sense. Probably not. I'm just rambling. That's okay. We're moving on. Read is still the B gap in the pistol. Your jab, footwork, okay, jab, right? Opposite side is going to be aligned in the guard alignment. Sorry, not the A gap. Your guard alignment, right? We want to treat this and make it look like inside zone. You're going to be guard alignment, and you're going to take a drop step. So your inside foot is going to drop backwards, right? Inside foot is going to drop back, going to be here. Your shoulders are going to stay square to the line of scrimmage, and your lower half is going to face and start working towards the B gap, right? So you're going to aim at the outside or the offensive tackle's inside leg and read the B gap, still the same as your base gun alignment, but you should have square shoulders as your lower body is moving and aiming towards the B gap. All right. So that's the bulk of the teaching, right? I know that was a lot, but that's the bulk of the teaching for mid zone. Okay. And the good news is it doesn't change for Lambeau Ferrari. All right. So let's take a look at some clips here. All right. Our base alignment, we're going to be toe to heel with the quarterback in the B gap tackle width. Okay. So we are going to aim at the tackle's inside leg on that track, and it shouldn't change the whole time. Third step, Fisher's to the mesh point. Ball's in his stomach, chest, right? We're getting the football, and our eyes the whole time are on that B gap. Okay. We put our foot in the ground on the fifth step and run right through it. And the reason, just like inside zone, all right, inside zone, we have the read being the A gap because we want you guys to hit it vertical and run and hit the home run ball, right? Your read, your aiming point, your goal is to hit it through the B gap, right? Just full speed, don't have to change your path. We're running. We're running. Look at this. Full speed right through the gap. We're able to cook it, probably score, right? So if there is no resistance, you should not change your path or your track through the B gap. Tackle alignment, 1, 2, 3. We're reading that B gap, 1, 2, 3. All right, this has now opened up significantly. We see the tackle's back, his numbers, right? And so he's kicking out, giving us a clear indication that we will not be bouncing, but we will be rolling through the B gap. And just like I said, these guys move post snap, right? And so B gap was here. Now the B gap is all the way over here, right? And so we want to run on this trajectory, this track that's going to allow us to run through that B gap. Full speed, hit it. If it's there, that's what we're taking. Okay, path of least resistance. You don't have to do as much this way. Makes it easier for you guys. Okay, Cadillac. Mateo's there on the third step. Tackle alignment. 1, 2, 3. Right? Third step. He's at the mesh point. His eyes are on the B gap. Okay. B gap is closed, but B gap is closed when we have our offensive tackle's shoulders and number square to the goal line, all right, to the line of scrimmage, meaning he reached the end man on the line of scrimmage. He was able to reach his outside, and now that means for us, the bounce, quote unquote, the bounce is an option. So now Mateo just keeps it on that track. There's not a lot of bowing going on. And so he's just getting vertical on his original track, right? He's just staying on his original track and then gets vertical outside. So really good read, really good route, track, I should say. Good job getting vertical. So that's a look at the bounce, and that's a look at how it should unfold. From this back view, you don't see Mateo really bow this thing outside. He just runs on his track to get to the outside. All right, from this view, really good track by Kai, right? And look at how this thing is moving and displacing horizontally. That thing's moving horizontally. He's on that track, cloudy. He puts his foot in the ground, gets vertical, right? That's what it should look like. Violent fifth step cut, get vertical. Right? Aiming here, reading here. Third step, we get to the mesh point. Our eyes are on that B gap still. Okay, we feel like, hey, maybe that's open. Maybe that's open, right? But Kai's also having some feel for this thing getting completely washed down. We're running with some speed, but our speed isn't getting us there quite yet. Now, so if this whole thing gets bled out, you guys don't have to chase the B gap because it's open. You don't have to chase it just because it's open. I mean, shit, you gotta run for days just to get there. So at some point, if you feel this thing really bleeding out front side, put your foot in the ground, fifth step here, get vertical, and then really good job by Kai getting back with the flow to try and scrape paint through the C gap. Because I'm telling you guys right now, when we get these rim blocks, right, tight end trying to rim this point at which Mason is crossing the tackle is really hard for him to get into the line of scrimmage and dig him out. Really hard. So look at this. This is really difficult. Really difficult block watching Mason. Really hard to get his head across inside. That's really difficult. So we're going to bank and expect the half a man to be free by the backside defensive end. We expect that. And so when we put our foot in the ground, we're not just going to run right into him. We're going to stay vertical. And just like Kai's doing here, he's getting tight to the tackle, right? Not allowing for this dude to fall off and make a play. And now we're free to just kind of do our own thing. So really, really subtle, but really good. Instead of Kai going just straight vertical, he's going to get vertical and then kind of follow and scrape paint off that tackle's ass to not allow that gap defender to make a play. Obviously, you just got to make a guy miss. All right, so taking a look at some 9-on-7. First step, second step, third step. Okay, B gap is closed. That's actually the C gap. Okay, no, that's a B gap. I'm an idiot. Okay, B gap is closed. B gap is closed because we reach the defensive end who pinches inside. Now, you guys really have a two-way go. Continue outside or get vertical, right? So I will say this. If you get this situation, okay, we have to know the context of where guys are. So pre-snap read is really important. You got to know, because right now this is the Mike, there's a Will over here, right? If this is the Will and the Mike is over here, you know this is probably a really good option. But because we have the Will here, watch what happens. Carter feels like he's fitting really fast and he doesn't have anyone to prevent him from making this tackle. And so he's going to put his fifth step in the ground, get vertical. Great decision. 5, and then go do you, right? Oh, just elite quarterback play here. All right. So taking a look at this. Sorry, I'm trying to get it to there we go. Jeez. Okay, here we are. Okay, so we have bowed linebackers. Okay, so this is the will. They're kicked to the weak side. We're reading the B gap. Our track is going right to the inside leg of the offensive tackle. Right? We feel like, hey, maybe we didn't reach this completely. And when in doubt, and you don't think the tackle reached him, don't go outside because he's going to get into a situation where he might get into a holding. We get a penalty. We got to bring that thing back. Not good. So when in doubt, if it's cloudy, we're putting our foot in the ground and getting vertical. And again, just like Kai did, we might get this, right? We might get linebackers that are good at seeing and reading the cutback, but really difficult. This is a good clip. Really difficult for them to play this, right? Play the leak, right? Kind of get into the next gap and then make a tackle. Really difficult. He's not in a good situation. Look, he overplays this. He over jump cuts, right? Kind of like what you guys are taught. He over jump cuts. And now because we're staying tight off the tackle's ass, really difficult. You're getting him to lunge. This is a really good body position for us to have the defender be in. He's lunging. I don't know if he's making that tackle, right? B gap's cloudy, get vertical, and then now we anticipate this wash, this heavy, heavy flow, and we're getting back on our course. Okay. B gap's closed because we had someone pinch inside. We're reaching out here and we're moving on. So I'm good with the decision, but I do like Carter ends up getting vertical. Doesn't let this thing leak all the way out. You know, we don't want this thing to bleed out there. That's when negative plays happen. So good job getting vertical after the bounce on that play. Oh, same play. Pistol. Okay, toes at 7.5. All right, so we're at about 7. We can deepen up just a little bit. And then we're going to take a delay step and still aim, okay, at a friendly aiming point, right? Which will be that inside leg of the tight end. Obviously, we're going the other way. Thought this was Cadillac. All right. So when I talk about the delay step, he should be leaving. So you see how Kai is starting to lean and go right now? That's what it should be. We don't leave until quarterback catches it. And you obviously are going to have a hard time seeing that from behind him. So you can start leaving. I mean, you can almost time it up, right? Just a half a click, kind of like what Kai's doing here. You can leave just a half a click later. And at the worst, at the latest, when you see the quarterback's head start to turn, you can leave at that point. Okay. So really good job by Kai here. Third step, fifth step, really good operation. So on that third step, he's making that decision just like normal, right? B gap is the read. I'm aiming at the tight end's inside leg. Can I hit it? Probably not. So I'm going to put my foot in the ground, get vertical, ends up hitting it later, which is totally fine. Want you guys to get vertical on that fifth step. Let's roll. Oh, I actually like this view. Let's check this one out first. Okay. So from a jab alignment, you're going to take that drop step with your inside foot. So that left foot's going to go back. You can see Mike shuffling in. We got to get to our guard alignment. You can be as far, we got to work on this a lot so you can get comfortable, but he's basically directly behind the guard. Drop step that inside foot. Try to keep your shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. The bottom half, right? So you're kind of on two halves here. You're like separating your body. Lower body is square. Sorry, upper body is square. Lower body is facing the aiming point. Okay. Outside, inside leg of the offensive tackle. So you're going to kind of separate those two. That first step, all right, is going to be towards the V gap. So you shouldn't be stepping backwards. Drop step here, and it can be a small one. You can just take it 6 inches. You can pick it up and put it down. Like you don't have to move this at all. Look at me, I'm trying to see your angle here. You don't have to get so much depth on the drop step because I don't want you to lose ground too much as you're going. But it's going to be the same read, same process. Fifth step, get vertical. Okay, reading the B gap the whole time. It's good jab operation. Okay, Lambo Ferrari. All right, Lambo Ferrari is going to change significantly. Just kidding. It's not going to change at all. Nothing changes for us on Lambo Ferrari. Right, Aiden? Nothing changes. Text the group chat. Nothing changes on our assignment from Lambo Ferrari to Cadillac Camaro. It's the same. Everything's the same. Okay. The only difference is we cannot go pistol or jab. Okay. Fish, why can we not go pistol or jab on Lambo Ferrari? Text the group chat. All right. Lambo Ferrari, mnemonic wise, right? We got the L and the R's in there. Okay. Lambo Ferrari, mnemonic wise, right? These cars are expensive. So we got to read the fine print. Okay. We got to read the fine print. Quarterback is reading backside inside linebacker, or sorry, the backside end man on line of scrimmage. So the quarterback is going to read somebody on Lambo Ferrari. Okay, let's take a look at it. Same alignment, tackle, same footwork, go step, 3 steps to the mesh point, reading the B gap. Is it open? Maybe not. Put my foot in the ground, 5th step, and I get vertical. That's all it is. Quarterback's reading right there. Can he make a play on you? If he can, he's going to pull it and run. If he can't, he's going to give it to you. So you got to trust that this dude is going to slow down and not make a play if you cut back. You'll be able to run through an arm tackle on Lambo Ferrari if you get the ball. In theory, that's how it should work out. Don't be surprised by this action from linebackers, right, or safeties. Okay, so take advantage, hit this thing hard. Pause, fish. All right, track doesn't change, right? So we should be aiming downhill. That tackles it inside leg, and we should have one straight path. We shouldn't ever bow on it to get back on track. Should never look like that. So we're a little wide in the aiming point, and then we kind of flatten out a little bit. We don't want to do that. Going to make that cut a hell of a lot harder. So we start flattening here, if you remember from the other angle. And then that makes this cut really hard. Got to slow down a lot. Not going to help us. Okay, a little bit of widening. Not terrible. Might be because the quarterback pulls a little bit, but a little bit of widening. What I like is the getting vertical, the priority on trying to get vertical back to line of scrimmage when things kind of go wrong. Got the will to fill over the top. We're not picking them up. We can't get it. All right. So we're always going to leave that defensive end free unless, and on this play, let me go back to, so we are always going to work towards the play side linebacker with our double team from the center and the guard. Okay, we're always going to work there. Our tackle is always going to work to the backside linebacker, right? Now, when that backside linebacker is wider, right? And so you can kind of see here's a better example. Okay, when he's a little bit wider or further behind the tackle, he's going to sift and play through the defensive end to the backside linebacker. Sometimes it'll look like we're actually blocking him. So on this one, we'll go back to this view, right? We have identified, okay, that we are working to this linebacker, right? Sorry. We've got a tight end on the front side, so we're plussing. So tight end is going to block him. Our center guard combo is going to block him. And our tackle has identified this is the guy he's blocking. Okay, so going back to here, right now, he just worked right to him. Now, since he widened out, he is going to sift or play it slow, not just rock it right up to him. He's going to play it slow. It's going to end up looking like he's just blocking the defensive end. Because what we don't want to do is just leave immediately. Let me show this view. What we don't want to do is if the tackle just goes immediately to the backer and he chases the running back, the quarterback will pull it at that point, and now this dude can scrape over the top, what we call gap exchanging, and he can make a play on the quarterback that pulls it, if you guys can visualize that. So instead of doing that, he's going to want to try and play into that gap, and he'll come out over here. He's going to play, the tackle's going to play slow, and if that's what happens, he's going to end up blocking him because his guy's leaving. So we want to use this fifth block. Now, if he's to shoot it, okay, that means that this defensive end has the force or the C gap responsibility. He's just going to go block the backside inside linebacker. But that doesn't happen here. So he's just sifting. They eliminate themselves, and we have this wide open backside to go through. All right, really good job. Double team working to their man, tight end working to his. All right, these two can effectively eliminate him with a double, and they're outnumbered significantly. Okay. Good job making a guy miss, good balance, good all that. But that's what we're talking about with a little Lambo Ferrari. All right, let's watch Mike's. And we'll move on to the rest of this stuff. Okay, so track is great. Downhill. 1, 2, 3. Reading the B gap. Maybe we're getting a little penetration. Fifth step gets put in the ground. Now we're getting vertical. Okay, obviously, this is a really good look at just that track. And then you can see 1, 2, 3. He feels like, yeah, maybe the B gap is open, but it's starting to get cloudy, or you guys can see this and feel this with your peripheral. The defensive tackle is really stretching this thing to the front side. Okay, well, I'm going to get my foot in the ground and get vertical. And what you guys got to expect is if this happens, we might get a stunt over the top. So don't be surprised if you feel this flow getting way out in front of you and you can barely keep up. Expect somebody to come free here. Okay, and if that happens, we kind of have a two-way go, right? You can either make him miss or keep going through, just like Mike does here. Really good job. Okay, now it's a little bit different. So when we have this plus, We know if we reach, we got somebody else out here blocking. So this bounce might be a better option for us than normally on Cadillac Camaro. But what Fish is seeing from this view is he doesn't see his tackle quite reach. He's getting the back of the tackle, the numbers of the tackle. And so he doesn't want to put him in a situation where he could hold. This guy's trying to peel. So he's going to put his foot in the ground and get vertical. Run through an arm tackle, really good. All right, so Fish is seeing, let's just pause it. Third step, he's seeing the numbers pointing at him, the tackle's numbers pointing at him. So to eliminate hesitation, he's saying, hey, man, that B gap is not open. Right? I don't think we're going to be able to reach it. I'm just going to put my fifth step in the ground and get vertical. Bang, just like we do here. Okay. We hit this full speed. Really difficult for these guys to fall in and make a play. If they can't see you, it's going to be hard to tackle you. All right. Passing game. Here's what we got for install 2. Okay, this will be a lot easier to fly through. New York is to the boundary now. All right, change that in the spring. You guys will have that arrow to 3 yards. Got to be ready for the fast one. You're the first read. Get your eyes around. Get ready to get vertical in a tight space. Okay. So it'll look like this. Couldn't find too many clips from the spring. Actually, there was none of us actually catching in New York. That was pretty good. So good track, good route here by Kai. Okay, aiming for this point on the sideline, right to it. Right to it. You're going to naturally flatten out a little bit, but good job getting your eyes back. You're the first read. We're not even past the line of scrimmage, and our eyes are getting back to the quarterback. Really good job. Ball should go to you right now. When we do get the football, we got to be ready for the worst case scenario. Similar to Florida, we got to put that ball away in the outside arm and get ready for a stiff arm or get ready to make a move. This is a unique situation. We got a heavy pass rush outside. We got to kind of avoid, right? You see the step by Teo, puts his foot in the ground, gets a little wider. We don't want to do that if possible. So I would say try and reduce your shoulder, Teo, get that thing low, right? Rip that left shoulder back, similar to our punt block elevator technique. Try to scrape paint, get low, reduce that shoulder, and then scrape paint so we can stay tight here. Because what ends up happening is we are so far this way, looking that way. I mean, this is a terrible body situation for us to be in. Quarterback puts it on your inside shoulder, and you're dead. So we got to try and help ourselves on this route. Quarterback has to help you on the throw. He's got to make the right read, but we got to be ready for the worst case scenario. So we got to practice this catch and tuck right off the rip, get your eyes inside, get ready to make a move or make a guy miss, or take a glancing blow. Oakland, 2 versions, zone and man. All right. Oakland, we're gonna no bump Oakland, just regular Oakland. We have the follow. Okay, so you have protection first, then you got your follow route. You're gonna follow the wake, literally just follow that shallow running across. Okay. On bump Oakland, ideally we'd have you to the field. It doesn't matter though. Okay. You're gonna protect and then swing to the field with what? Okay. What are you gonna swing to the field with on bump Oakland? Okay, we tab this thing. Michael, why are we tabbing this play? Pro by Kai first, gets out past the core, out past the offensive line, and then he just follows that route. Good job. Okay. Carter, protection first. I got nothing. I can start leaking horizontally. Get out. and then get on my track. And it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be this perfect angle, but you got to know time and space. Like, where am I? Okay. Am I where I need to be for the quarterback to get this thing out on 2 slides? Because he's going one slide to the bender and the shallow. He's got to make this decision on one slide for both of these. And then he's coming to you on the second slide. So Carter's doing a good job. One slide by Harp. That's his one slide. He's throwing it right now, right? So he decided. But if he's taking a second slide, Carter's in a good spot to be throwing the ball in that window. Tabbing it here. Why would we tab it there, Mike? Hopefully he responded. Protection first. Elimination. Always be scanning. Land does a good job leaking horizontally so he can get out of the way of the tackle and the defensive end rushing. And then now, quarterback one slide, 2 slides. This is starting his second slide. 2 slides, second foot's in the ground. Ball's coming out to us. Be ready to make a play just like this with a guy on you. Okay, now we could also run the shallow. Okay, and on the shallow, you're going to chase the heels of the D line as you run across the field. Okay, so we should snap this a little earlier about here, and then your track should be a little skinnier. But good job running with speed by Mike. We catch it on our back shoulder, and now it's us making a play in space. So we could run that shallow if we have a shank Oakland on. Bump Oakland. If we have it called, we're already starting to the field. If we man alert it, you're touching your helmet. You can stay on that side. You don't have to move, but we got to win with speed to the swing. Okay, Tampa. Pretty easy for us. Protection first. 5-step swing. If you don't get the ball, burn it out. Okay, you are the last option scramble drill option. Okay, so you need to run this thing with some tempo and for the love of the game. All right, so it is a check wheel, not swing. Check wheel, check wheel. And you got to have some love of your teammates on this because you are not getting it. This is what it's going to look like. Check, 5 steps, burn it out. We burn it out so we can lift this defender. And if he doesn't lift and he sits right there, you're going to run right by him and you'll get the ball. But we lift this defender, get him out of there so this person on the mesh can catch and run and get some yak. Right? Atlanta, Georgia. This is Lambeau Ferrari to you. That is every single time you get this play call, you are assuming you're getting the football. Atlanta, Georgia, I assume I get the football. If you don't, carry out your fake, make sure you pull anybody with you. But this whole time right here, up until this point, you're assuming I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I'm getting it. Okay, I didn't get it. Let me carry out my fake. Still the same reads, footwork, all of that. We could have the slide option. All right, so if we're house, okay, we got a house alignment by fish. We have the slide. We got to get up and out. Get up, get into the defensive territory across the line of scrimmage and get ready for the football. Just like Florida, New York, catch it, put it in your outside arm, get ready to get some yak. Assume you're going to get it. Assume you're going to get it. Assume you're going to get it so you're not surprised, right? If we get 2-3 yards on this play, that's a good run play for us because offensive line's blocking it a little different. Okay, Louisiana, you guys have nothing. Elite fake, Baton Rouge, elite fake, Louisiana. You're not a check down, you're not a passing option, just elite fake. It's the only thing we need from you on our boot game. Louisiana Baton Rouge, Aiden, what is the only thing we need you to do on Louisiana Baton Rouge? Seattle is protection dependent. If you have a stab, you're going to chip arrow. If you have whale, you're going to block and stay in. If you got dolphin, okay, you're going to check pro and then swing to the backside. So you have a variety of different options there. Washington, if you guys have the slide, right? Or if it's Waddle Washington, you guys have the slide, you got to understand, is there pressure? Is there no pressure? Right? Can I get over the top of that tight end blocking him? Or is he really getting beat? I got to get underneath and get my eyes around. So a couple different options there on the slide. We got to be able to run that correctly. We could also run a shallow on this, right? Or we could run the spike route. Okay, if the spike route is ours, we are going under the first, over the second, right? So under the first linebacker, over the second, chasing the heels of that post. Slide route. So ideally, we want us to go over the top of that block. But be a football player. If it's not going to happen, just get underneath. But if you do that, understand I got to get my eyes back right now because that ball could come to me. Right? And if you don't get over the top here, you're making the quarterback have to pull up here. So you got to get your eyes around. All right, we have shallow here. We want to widen to about the numbers because we're going to have this motion guy coming in, and then he has the spike. We have the shallow, right? And so we're going to treat it just like normal. And this is really good job by Carter. Puts his foot in the ground, chases the heels of the D-line, get over there with speed because you got to be that slide option from the backside. And then obviously, you all know this one. We have the motion in here. We got the spike route. Under the first, over the second, chasing the heels. Good job by Land here, getting a hand down. Swiping. Chasing the heel. Look at, awesome. Chasing the heels of these posts. Unnecessary one-hander. Jesus Christ. Fucking sick, though. Utah. Elite fake. And then as you hit the numbers, right when you hit the numbers, you're starting to turn around, throttle down, and get your eyes around. So you're full speed from here to the numbers. Once you hit the numbers, throttle down, get ready for the check down. It's going to go that Utah route, that under route to you. You're the second in this. So it'll look like this. You should be running full speed, but do what you got to do to be an option on this check down on Utah. Screens. Rachel is the old dolly, but you're always going to the right. Okay, you're going to be guard alignment and roll, right? So guard alignment, jab step on this, and you are rolling to get in relationship with that tackle. You don't want to be in front of the tackle. So if he's here, you want to be here, right? You want to be behind him. You want to be behind him. You are going to get half a yard of depth at most, and then just flatten out, let the ball take you upfield. So guard alignment, just a quick jab, nothing crazy, and then full speed flat. Flat. Let the ball take you upfield. Obviously, this play gets jacked up, but just looking at the footwork and the timing of it, this is about as far behind the tackle as you can be. Heavy jab here by Kai. Probably don't need that much. But after you put your foot in the ground, it's a full fucking clip sprint to the swing to try and get behind that tackle. The reason we're jabbing is to allow him to get out there. So you have to run full speed when you start or post jab rather. Felicia, most of the time, you guys will just elite fake mid zone. But you guys can be this player or you can be the blocker. So if you're the blocker, you got to protect the forest. If there's a press corner, then you can work out to him. If you're number two, right? Or your number three, rather, you won't block a press corner. You're going to protect the forest. Okay. So if there's a press corner, he's got to work out. So you still have to know if there's a press corner or not. It's just not you blocking it. Press corner means number two is going to go block him. So you have to go get who's ever over number two. But when in doubt, block color in the forest. If you are this receiver on the ball or off the ball, getting the screen, we will tag it. So this should be R Felicia on this play. We'll tag T Felicia if it goes to you. If you're on the ball, okay, foot fire right down the line. If you're off the ball, you're going to take a quick three, 1, 2, 3, and then right down the line. So you want to try and get to the line of scrimmage on the screen. All right. So pressed, he has to block him. We got to work out here and then take the first two triggers. He's on the ball, right? Or no, sorry, he's off. So Trent is off. He's going to take a quick three and work right into the line. Quick three, right in the line. He's out. He bails. He's triggering. Land has him. Just like Teo told us, running your feet through contact is the best way to block. Can't lunge, right? Can't lunge. Handshake distance, right? That's too far away. But good job by Trent, right? He should be working down the line, not back to the quarterback, but nonetheless, pretty decent there. And then get vertical, go through the smoke. When you catch this thing, it's bang, right here. We're not leaking inside. Get vertical. So Teo in the game here, off the ball, quick three, down the line, get vertical. Really good. Don't wait for guys. Fucking go. Beat him. Don't wait. Beat him. That's a really good job. Gain of 6. Okay. All right. That's it. We'll go over mid zone in detail next week. But that is install 2. All right. Make sure you text your answers to the group chat. Okay. Need to hold you guys to a higher standard, and I will do so. Don't want to be a dick. Don't want to be a babysitter, but I'll do it if you guys force my hand. All right. Don't take the freedom I give you guys for granted. Don't take advantage of it. Okay. I can turn into an asshole real quick. So watch this, learn from it, and yeah, we'll get better.